What up? I'm Sage and you're watching D&D Daily, where we release new D&D content every day. If you're looking for D&D inspiration and information, then you are in the right spot because today we're talking about the magic machine gun. In order to play the magic machine gun, you are going to need to be of the Hexblood lineage, and you're going to be an Evocation wizard, but you're going to take a 1-level dip into Hexblade Warlock. The magic machine gun's earliest memories are roaming the swamp with Glum and Roberta Mudbladder, her mothers. Glum and Roberta are green hags. Their third sister was killed by an adventurer, and in retribution, the adventurer's little girl was taken to replace their fallen sister. Covens rely on having 3 members to be at their peak power, after all. The magic machine gun is blissfully unaware of her past and the significance of her mothers. All she knows is her parents are strict disciplinarians and they are grooming her abilities. Her mothers act as her patron, and the low level of Warlock represents that her patrons aren't at that godly or even demi-godly power that most other patrons are, and thus she can only be given so much power by them, represented by a 1-level dip. Her mothers know a thing or two about magic and have trained her in the basics of spellcasting, though they are no masters, so they have only taught her the basics of the arcane. This may have been a blessing in disguise, because teaching her the basics over and over and never moving on to lesson 2 taught the magic machine gun to master certain spells to a razor's edge, magic missiles being her most casted spell. The hags had to admit to themselves that they could only teach her so much, but recognized that she has amazing potential. Hungry to see her grow into what she could be, hungry to pluck that fruit when ripened, and hungry for how powerful the coven could be if she joins them at the right moment, they sent her out into the world to experience it and grow from it. You have a long life, little one. There may be a time when you hate us or despise us, but give it a few lifetimes and you'll come to realize where you belong. We'll be waiting. When the time is right, come back to us and we'll help you take the final step into greatness. As far as personality goes, the magic machine gun is young, wide-eyed, and bushy-tailed. She is naive, excited, good-hearted, curious about the world, and adventurous. Overall, think just a young person coming into the world for the first time and being super excited about all of it. In combat, the magic machine gun is a blaster with an emphasis on single target damage. Magic Missile combined with Hexblade's Curse and or Hex is your bread and butter. This gets stronger at level 11 when she gets Empowered Evocation, which lets her add her intelligence modifier to every magic missile you shoot. On top of this, reflavor your Eldritch Blast as big magic missiles. If she wants to go nuclear on an enemy, she uses her first turn to cast Hex, then shoots them with her Eldritch Blast. And on the next turn, she sets up her Hexblade's Curse, and then unleashes her highest level magic missiles. At level 11, this would be about 101 to 123 damage on your cast of magic missiles alone. Not bad for something you can repeat at near the same level every turn. A fun limitation to play with is to limit your spells known to level 1, or at most level 2 spells. Your mothers could only teach you so much, but they absolutely drilled the fundamentals into you. You may just enjoy this for the roleplay, but if your DM is cool, they may do something to increase your efficiency with your lower level spells at the expense of being unable to learn any higher level ones. For example, if I had a player who said, I will restrict my character to only be able to learn level 1 spells, I would say, okay, every time you shoot a magic missile, add 1 to it. I think that's a more than fair trade-off. At the very worst, you will always have the bread and butter of Hex plus Eldritch Blast to get you through combat. Out of combat, the magic machine gun is a utility caster with her rituals. She's also super smart, and that makes her really great at several ability checks. She can also act as a bit of a scout by taking advantage of her eerie token feature, which comes from her Hexblood lineage. This allows her to maintain telepathic communication with whoever holds her token. She can change how she looks using Disguise Self and can send messages back to the party, so they are well informed of what's going on around her. She can also expend the token to see or hear from it for a minute. This will break the token, so she won't be able to telepathically communicate anymore after she uses it, so watch out for that. The magic machine gun would use her downtime to explore the world. She would check out the flora and the fauna, she would check out people's different ways of approaching life, and she would definitely get distracted by all the pretty things in the market. Think a ADHD kid who just ran into a toy shop. A fun play on that could be she was raised by hags, so her idea of what pretty is could be pretty interesting. She is a spontaneous purchaser who likes to buy trinkets and all sorts of things that will probably never have application, but she just loves them for them. The key mechanics of playing the magic machine gun is a high intelligence and at least a 14 to dex to take advantage of your medium armor and shield that the Hexblade gives you. This will boost your defense significantly. The feat Metamagic Adept can give you access to empowered spell to reroll anytime you roll a 1 on one of your magic missiles. This can increase your damage significantly, though I will say it's probably more important just to get your intelligence to 20 before taking that feat. The magic machine gun, like all characters, has her own set of weaknesses. Close quarters combat being the number one. She likes her range, she has a very squishy health pool, so she's going to try and stay out of the smacking range of her enemies. Hordes of enemies are also a problem because she's limited to only these early spells. She doesn't have a fireball to take out a horde of enemies. She is naive and could be easily fooled by people who are trying to trick her. She's new to this world, and this is all represented by a low wisdom score. On top of that, she has a low wisdom save, which is not only a common save, but can often be devastating. If you're limiting yourself to level 1 spells, then mobility would be an issue, especially when disengaging from close quarters combat. Even getting just to level 2 gives you Misty Step, gives you invisibility, gives you mirror image, gives you all sorts of things to deal with that, so limiting yourself to level 1 would make that extremely difficult. Also, because she relies so heavily on magic missiles, a caster who can cast shield can get crazy value out of it. Imagine her trying to drop 106 damage of magic missiles onto a wizard who just casts shield for a level 1 spell and denies all of it. As an NPC, I would have the party interact with the magic machine gun as she is making the crucial decision whether or not she's going to join the hags. Have the party be an influence one way or the other. If they try and push her away from the hags and are showing success, that would probably upset the hags, which could result in a low-level boss fight. If they aren't successful, the hags would become much stronger and could carry into the mid-game as a boss fight later. If this is the case, be sure to have one of the hags specialize in curses followed up with brutal magic missiles. The keynote of playing the magic machine gun is that moment when you have that one big enemy who needs to go down. You've got your Hex and your Hexblade's curse both set up, and now you can just spend every turn bombarding that enemy with 100+ damage magic missiles every single turn. Thank you for watching until the very end. If you are still here, then you are our kind of people and we want to hear from you. What would you do different with your magic machine gun? What would you do to make her better or more flavorful? Let us know in the comments below. You can also tell us what you thought of this episode by giving us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Either way, it's going to help us know what kind of content you're looking for. And on the next episode of D&D Flavor Builds, we're going to be talking about the dwarf who stands against the tide, Iron Will. Hit the subscribe button because you're not going to want to miss it. See ya!